some music into it.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Did Linda?
Figures of all of us going like
Yeah.
this.
You guys can all sing.
Yeah.
We didn't. I call this meeting of Millersville Council to order as of 7:00 p.m. As a reminder, this meeting is being live streamed. I would like to ask you all now to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Be seated.
I just had blankness inside of it.
All right, we will get started with a motion to approve the minutes from the council meeting held on April 8th, 2025. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Very good, Marion. Any discussion required for those minutes? In that case, all those in favor, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. At this time, council will hear any comments, requests, or concerns from members of the public related to items on the agenda or other matters. You will have 5 minutes to speak. We do ask that you either come to the microphone or request that the microphone be brought to you. Also, do please give your name and a general address for the record if you'd like to speak. Anyone like to address council at this time? Very well, seeing none, we will move on. At this time, we'll move on to our reports of boards and commissions, starting with Blue Rock. Linda, you want to take it away?
Sure. The April meeting was held on the 3rd at the Millersville station. The financial report was reviewed and they are on target. In February, Blue Rock had 70 total calls, 38 in the township and 3 were faults, 16 in the borough and 0 were faults. And the rest were all outside the district. There are 2 openings for live-ins at the West Lancaster station, and there's been discussion between the 2 stations over new gear, and they've been arguing, so Dwayne will purchase the best gear. There was a serious house fire on Temple, and Lancaster City and Manheim Township have been added to daytime emergency, and it's working well. An $1,850 grant from the Emergency Health Services Federation has been received. And on the building project, the state is requesting a few more digs from the archaeologists. Dwayne is compiling a list of foundations to reach out to for funding, and Blue Rock is waiting for reimbursement from a federal grant and 2 state grants. A letter was received from a citizen, Jim Ponce, with several suggestions for recruitment, which the board discussed. And that's all.
Very good. Thank you, Linda. We do have an item here on the agenda, and I apologize, Rebecca, it looks like there's a blank here. Are we requesting the approval to hire conditional officers?
Yes, that's part of the civil service report, right above it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, who do we have doing that?
Civil services, sir.
Oh, by all means, come on up.
All right.
If you would, to the microphone here, please.
Thanks. Good evening. I'm Tony Hightower, representing Civil Service Commission, and I do have an update on the hiring process. Civil Service Commission met yesterday, April 21st, and certified a list of 2 applicants for the open positions. The applicants are Croft Howley and Carly Holtzman, and I would like to request the council's approval for to extend conditional offers to those 2 candidates, and the condition, it's pending the remaining activities that they have for the hiring process.
Could I have those names again one more time, please, sir?
They are Croft Howley, Howley, and Carly Holtzman.
And those are your recommendations to fill the gaps that we have on the Civil Service Commission?
On the police
I'm sorry, on the
police
police
force.
department.
Yes, sir.
Sorry. Very good.
We'd also,
Let's
oh, go
handle
ahead.
that action first.
You want to handle that action first? Very well, then I will propose a motion to approve the conditional hiring of Croft Howley and Carly Holtzman per guidelines of the Civil Service Commission regulations. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Phyllis. Any discussion required here? Very well, seeing none, all those in favor of that motion, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Very well, motion carries.
Excellent, thank you, Civil Service, thanks for your consideration. We'd also provide an update on National Night Out. We're continuing to register organizations and individuals for National Night Out. The focus this year will be Crime Watch sign up, and we can use the assistance of everybody in the community to join us at National Night Out. If you have friends or family with organizations that like to be represented, they're very welcome, and the more, the better for representation throughout our community.
Could we get a reminder on the night for National Night Out?
It is August 5th.
Very good.
And
Any
that-
other questions for Mr. Hightower here? Anything you'd like to add, sir?
No, that's all I've got.
And we thank you
Thank
for
you
your
very
time.
much. Appreciate it.
Very good. Moving on to items out of committee from the Finance Advisory Committee. I do apologize for being absent last time, but I believe that we have the March financial reports to approve of. I did want to point out that we have a couple of items on here that seem to, at the very least, be displayed incorrectly on our statement of revenue and expenditures. Let's see here, both mayor and council salaries, year-to-date actual, are showing as having only 1 month being paid out. You're nodding, you know this is the case.
Yeah, so, the way that the salaries are showing up, now that we've moved to a different system doing our payroll, it's just gonna be slightly delayed. So like, it is only showing 1 month, because this was the March one, so for the April one, it will show then 2 months worth, and then so on. So it's just
So
gonna be slightly
going forward
delayed.
here, presumably through year end, we're going to be showing a diminished amount of year-to-date actual on the statement of revenues and expenditures.
Most likely just for the mayor and council salaries, because those are only paid once a month.
I see.
Everything else will mostly line up. It's just those ones that are only paid once, and because we're doing it just slightly differently, it's just gonna be a slight delay on how it will show up on the statement.
Right, and I believe I heard there was a discrepancy on the police overtime amounts, I assume for the same or a similar reason?
That one I think we looked into pretty heavily, and we determined that that was pretty much accurate.
Oh, okay, good. Very good, well then,
Seem to even out.
sorry, what was that, chief?
We're okay.
We're good? Okay. Great, well then with those items in mind, I will make a motion to accept the March financial report and authorize staff to satisfy the ordinary and routine obligations incurred by the borough for this month. Is any discussion required by members of council for this one? Very well, then all those in favor, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? The motion carries. Moving on to Personnel Advisory Committee. I believe first item was discussion and approval of ordinance to dissolve Education Service Agency. My understanding is that this motion was approved out of council, that's correct?
Out of committee.
Out of committee, my apologies, yep. Very well. Would you like to make the motion then as head of personnel? All right. In that case, I'll make a motion to approve the ordinance to dissolve the Education Service Agency. Any discussion required on this point? Very well, seeing none, all those in favor, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Item number 2, discussion and approval of updated Borough Accident and Illness Prevention Program Manual. The AIPPM does get updated, what is it, once a year?
Once every couple years.
Once every couple of years. And this item also was approved out of committee, correct?
Yes.
Very good. In that case, I will make a motion to approve the borough's updated accident and illness prevention program manual as presented. Any discussion required on this by members of council? Seen a lot of shaking heads. Great. All those in favor indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? That motion carries as well. Last but not least, for our Personnel Committee, discussion of the application of Ed Hirsch to zoning hearing board vacancy. This item also voted out of committee. Very good. And I'll make a motion to approve the appointment of Ed Hirsch to the zoning hearing board as a member with a term ending on December 31st, 2026. Discussion on that from any members of council? Very well. Seeing none, all those in favor, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Mr. Mayor, I'll turn it over to you if you've got anything you'd like to say.
Just a couple of questions, I guess, or Becky might be answered. I received a letter from a woman who lives on Spring Drive in regards to an oil leak. How are we standing on that?
Yes, so as everyone can imagine, when large trash trucks come into the borough, occasionally they do spill some oil. There was a spill that happened on Spring Drive. A resident alerted us to it right away. Penn Waste did come out. They spread some sort of oil picking up material, and then a street sweeper did come back through. We communicated with this individual a number of times. We got the letter too. We communicated with this individual a number of times, and they were very helpful with getting us information about what was going on the ground. But unfortunately, even with the best of effort on a street sweep, Penn Waste is just not able to get an oil stain up like that. It's probably going to stay that way. It's going to be a little bit stained still. They did what they could, and then unfortunately, of course, it rained like immediately that evening. So some of that stuff that they put down on the ground to sort of pick more of it up got washed away. Unfortunately, there just isn't a lot that we can do about it at this point. Oil stains, as probably everyone knows, are kind of tricky.
I'll reach out and I'll talk to her as well and pass on. We've done everything we can, so did Penn Waste, and it is what it is. So, thank you.
Yep.
All right.
And I'll let the chief give his monthly report.
Okay, the rundown for activities for the police department for the month of March are as follows. We handled 368 calls for service, 18 ordinance complaints, 3 involving animals, 5 were disorderly conduct, 7 were for noise, 3 open alcohol, a curfew, and 5 others, which resulted in 11 ordinance citations. We issued 3 disruptive conduct reports, handled 15 criminal arrests, 5 were adult, 10 were juvenile. Part 1 offenses, we had 6, and we cleared 6 for 100% clearance. Part 2 offenses, we had 42, and cleared all 42 for 100% clearance. The officers are starting to get more active with the nicer weather and traffic enforcement. We had 38 traffic violations, 10 for speeding, 28 others, 14 vehicle accidents, issued 132 parking tickets, and patrolled, it's about our average, just over 3,000 miles. Lieutenant Scott has picked up a few new serious cases, 2 sex offense cases, and unfortunately a pretty serious fraud case, which they never seem to stop. And with the shortage of officers, Lieutenant Scott had covered several shifts for a total of 16 hours on patrol. And that's it.
And just in context, in the month of February, we had 237 calls for service for the entire month. So March, we're already up 131 calls. So thank goodness, and my praise goes out to Civil Service Commission for what they've done. For a lot of what everyone here knows, that for many, many years, civil service basically came in, got sworn in, did not have to do a thing at all for the entire year because we were fully staffed. last couple of years, these people have been diligently, every single month coming in, helping us to get our force back up to complement. So my thanks to Mr. Hightower and the rest of Civil Service Commission for what they've been doing, and keep up the good work.
Yeah, hats off, thank you. Very good. We will move on to Ms. Norman and our Millersville University report.
Hello, thanks for letting me be here tonight. I have a few things to go over. First thing regarding spring commencement, just as a reminder, it's going to take place on Saturday, May 10th at Priscilla Gymnasium. There will be 3 commencements, one at 9 a.m., one at 1 p.m., and one at 5 p.m., and each of them are about 2 hours long. In addition to commencement, students not graduating will be moving out by Friday, May 9th until 10 p.m., and graduating students will be moving out that weekend following commencement. Approximately 40 to 60 students will be remaining on campus over the summer, so roads might still be a little busy for people moving out. It's not just about, it won't just be commencement traffic, it will also be people moving out. For the arts at MU, on Friday, April 25th, MU will present Illuminate at the Winter Visual and Performing Arts Center. There'll be dancers in like glow-in-the-dark suits and doing dynamic routines to music, and that sounds really cool, so go check that out on Friday. On May 2nd, there will be We the People First Friday at the Ware Center. There will be 2 things, Jiaoche, which means small eats, and Ikebana, which means giving life to flower. Jiaoche will feature popular Asian street foods, and breakdancing performance in Ikebana will feature a collaborative art exhibit showing Japanese art from Lancaster's AAPI community. So check that out too at the Ware Center on May 2nd. I'm pretty sure, this isn't on my report, but Jiaoqi I'm pretty sure is until May 30th. One of the 2 is until May 30th. I don't remember which one, but it's not just that day if you can't make it that day. On Saturday, May 3rd, MU will present Plena Libre at the Ware Center. It's a mix of plena and bamba music and Afro-Puerto Rican musical styles. It's a group that has, this report. They have had several Grammy nominations in their music, and they're pretty well known among the community, so go check them out. Very exciting. You can purchase tickets on the Arts at Millersville website. For athletics, Millersville University is proud to share that Leah Eckert, Jane McClellan, Jordan Plempo, and Claire Weaver were all named as academic all-district honorees by college sports communicators. Also, we're proud to share that Matt Morris, Marcus Gable, Andrew Vogelbacher, and Bishop McCoy have been recognized as Scholar All-Americans by the National Wrestling Coaches Association. And for both of those awards, they needed like really high GPAs and to do well in sports, so it's very exciting. On Friday, April 18th, last Friday, Millersville University Student Athlete Advisory Committee hosted a field day. There were over 50 students in attendance from grades from 2nd grade to 6th grade, and it served as a fundraiser for Make-A-Wish. Since people were off for Easter Friday at the schools, we decided to invite everyone down, and it was a pretty cool experience. This is really cool. Millersville University student-led organization Tilting, and that's TILTTING. It's an acronym. It means Thermodynamic Investigation into Thresholds During Tornado Genesis and Its Influence in the Northeast and Great Plains. So weather stuff. It's pretty cool. They launched 2 weather balloons outside the Weather Center, and the balloons collect specialized data that can be requested and used by the National Weather Service in the event of severe weather. So our meteorology program's pretty cool, so it's great that they're going out and doing these great opportunities. And I will pass it to Dr. DeSantis.
Good evening, folks. I know that you are some of the biggest supporters of Millersville University students in the area, and I know that they have a special affinity in your heart. You probably have read in the past couple days that we have had an experience or two recently with our international students. And so if you read the newspaper article that was out the other day, we have had at least one student at this point who had their, international student who had their visa status revoked and been given the requisite time to either self-deport or be deported. There have been at least 2 or 3 other instances one at Westchester, 2 at IUP, if I recall correctly from this morning's conversation. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because, A, I know your concern for our students, but also because it's become the interplay between college and university student visa processes and now municipal records. And so particularly the students, the 2 students at IUP, for example, were flagged, at least in part, because of unpaid parking violations. And so and that is happening with increasing frequency, where there's become an interplay between, now, we know on campus that should a student's visa status be revoked, there's nothing that we can legally do about that. We don't have the power to stop that from occurring or anything of that nature, and nor would we, be asking or encouraging you to do anything of that nature. I'm bringing this up to you as an informational item because I want you to be aware. Again, no request to change processes or do anything different, but just an awareness that, that the interplay between state and local records now and our students' federal visa status is beginning to become, or at least is rearing its head. It's got us concerned, obviously, on campus. The federal government doesn't have to tell us when they revoke a student's status, so we are now we now have our international officer going into the records of all of our students each day online to make sure that they haven't been revoked. And if they do notice a revocation, we're now taking steps to at least inform the student and help to support them. We can't support them legally or financially, but we can at least support them academically. And so, anyway, you're the presiding officers over a college town, and so I wanted you to be aware of this, right? Because I don't want you to ever be caught off guard either. On a different note, I want to also just let you know that we are having 2 events coming up that may have some interest to you. So on way out in June 5th, we're having our 5th annual SDG conference. That's our Sustainable Development Goals conference. This year's conference theme is on building safer communities, reducing community and school violence. And so we have a full lineup that day of sessions and speakers, all on the topic of building safer communities. Our day will be led off by the executive director of PCCD from the state level, talking about state level policy around reducing violence. And then, of course, I wanted to also make you aware, and thank you. We have sold already 15 of our 25 seats for our AI training program. And several of you have already purchased tickets. And so we still have 10 seats left in case anybody else is interested. I know Rebecca's going, I know Phyllis is coming, and want to make sure that that folks have those seats before I start selling them in the York County area. The only marketing I've done so far is in our Lancaster County municipal areas.
Where do you get the tickets?
You can get them online.
Online?
Phyllis has those, Rebecca has those, so the link is available if you want to check that out. But I wanted to end on a positive note because I didn't mean to be so dour tonight, but I really do think in my heart that you need to know that information as well.
Yes.
So I hope you can appreciate that. And I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Victor, how many international students do we have total, do you know?
Truly international students who are on visas here, we have anywhere between 50 and 75 any given semester. I think this semester we have just over 60. And then, of course, there are students who are on different statuses, whether they be refugee status or what have you, or whether they be, green cards or other kind of immigrant statuses. But at least on visas, it's around, I think it's 62 this semester.
One of the best experiences I had while at MU, my dorm, which isn't there anymore, was considered the international dorm at that time, and I got to meet all these people from all over the world, all these
Yeah.
different countries. That was one of the best experiences I had at MU.
You know what, Chief, I appreciate you saying that. The other thing I would say, Chief, particularly because I know you had a positive experience in that regard, some of our international students are among the 60 that Abby talked about that might be remaining a little bit this summer. Because as you can imagine, there is, if you're here and on a solid status, there is a hesitancy to leave and then try to come back in September. Many of our international students do that, Chief. They would go home and then come back. And so right now, there's more hesitancy to leave or to travel outside the country and come back. And so many of them are choosing to stay in residence, and we're making that available. Okay. Thank you, my friends. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Dr. DeSantis, Ms. Norman. It is appreciated. We'll move on to our Penn Manor report.
Good evening, y'all. This is my last time by myself, so I'm not going to talk a lot, especially concerning sports. I'm probably going to reserve that for planning to talk about that next month when the seasons are about over, and I can give a full assessment and let you guys know about the success of our sports teams. So nothing abnormal, just end of the year stuff going on. AP testing window is from May 5th to May 16th, so College Board and AP tests will be going on during that time. Teacher Appreciation Week is May 5th through 9th. The District Art Show is at Penn Manor High School from 5 to 8 p.m. Senior Athletic Awards are happening on May 12th at 6 p.m. if you guys would want to attend that, or know anybody's kids that'll be attending that. And then that's about it for the most part. We have a graduation ceremony, commencement ceremony, the seniors at F&M on June 4th, and then the last day of school is June 5th. So, not a whole lot to talk about. Thank you.
Very good.
We appreciate it, and thank you for your time. Move on to our manager's report.
First item I have this evening is seeking approval of a one-year extension of our Denali biosolid removal contract to reflect the new CPI. This is an item that we bring up mostly every year with our longstanding agreement with Denali Water Solutions. They provide the biosolid removal. It's a messy business. It has to be done.
And we're looking at an increase of 2.9% CPI, right?
Yes, it's based on the CPI, the average for the year before. That's how our contract is written with them, and we have the way the contract is written is that we can do one-year extensions up to a certain point, but we are in a year that we can do another one-year extension, and we have no issues or complaints with them. They do a good job. So we'd like approval to have that extension of the contract for an additional year with the increased CPI 2.9.
I find that to be reasonable. I will propose a motion to approve the one-year extension of the agreement with Denali Water Solutions LLC for the borough's biosolid management service through May 31st, 2026, and reflecting the 2.9% CPI increase. Do I have a second?
Second?
From Phyllis. Any discussion on the matter required? Any questions you have for Rebecca? Very well. Seeing none, all those in favor, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Motion will carry.
Thank you. The second item is, the borough received a request for an escrow reduction for the Satnam 2 LLC project at 3638 Manor Avenue. This was a relatively small land development project, but we did collect $11,000 in escrow for this project per our saldo. They have recently requested that their escrow be reduced and returned as they finish the project. Our engineer, Rob, did go out and look, and they also agree that it can be returned in full, deducting, of course, the legal and engineering costs that went into those reviews. We'd like approval to return that escrow to Satnam 2.
Very well, I see no problem with that. I will propose a motion to approve the escrow reduction request of Satnam, is that 2? Satnam 2 LLC for their project at 3638 Manor Avenue to close out the project and return the remaining escrow held. Do I have a second?
Second.
Very good. Questions or concerns about that? Seeing none, all those in favor, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? That motion will carry as well. I have nothing for my president's report. I don't believe we had any, at least looking at the minutes, there weren't any kind of citizens' complaints or comments that I feel we need to respond to from last time. No reason for executive session, so I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
You're gonna race for it. Very well. I'm sorry, I'm gonna give that one to Linda. All those in favor, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? We stand adjourned as of